Hi everyone, this is Ubish from the Freedom Geek team, and today I'm here with Kelly. Thank you so much for being here, Kelly. Can you please introduce yourself and a little bit of your business?
Sure, thank you so much for having me today. My name's Kelly Molson. I run a web design and development agency called Rubber Cheese. We've been around for about 18 years now, and the majority of the projects that we work on are for companies that work in the visitor attraction or the tourist sector, so things like theme parks or museums. And we build websites for them that help them sell more tickets for people to come along and have a really fantastic experience.
That's great. And how long you have been working with your VA?
So we've been working with our VA since I think around the middle of 2020 now. I think we hired sometime around August time last year.
Did you have any concerns of working with someone that is basically on the other side of the world?
We didn't have any concerns at all at this point, but if you'd have asked me that about a year ago, I probably would have given you a very different answer. But because we've been, our whole team has been distributed and working virtually due to the coronavirus pandemic, it didn't seem like a particularly unusual thing to be doing. Our team is all working from home at the moment, so most of our communication is over Zoom or over chat. And so we're not seeing them every day in person anyway. And so actually working with someone on the other side of the world makes no difference where anyone's located. So no, it wasn't a huge concern at all.
And I wonder, how did you even heard about VAs in the first place?
Actually, it was the property development company where we started to look at hiring a VA initially, which went really well. We worked with Freedom Geek and that process went absolutely brilliantly. And then I started to think about all of the things that were taking up probably a lot of my time, a lot of my business partners' time, a lot of the team's time that they weren't necessarily things that we should be doing or we could outsource to somebody who was far more capable than us and would do a better job at doing them as well. And then it occurred to me that actually we could use Freedom Geek again to find a VA for us. Because that process had worked so well for that organization. So that's kind of how we heard about you initially, and then went through the process again.
In case that someone that is watching that it's hesitant about starting to hire or work with a VA, what will be your advice?
Don't hesitate. If you are like me and my co-founder, very, very busy entrepreneurs, lots of different things that you need to be doing every day, I cannot recommend having a VA highly enough. I cannot recommend it enough. It's given us back so much time. And actually it means that, our clients or our contacts or people that need to hear from us, but maybe were waiting quite a while, well, actually they get a quicker response now because somebody else is dealing with that. Somebody else is, arranging our diary meetings or doing some marketing work for us or doing research work for us that needed to be done. So definitely don't hesitate. It is a really, really simple process to go through when you use Freedom Geek too. I have to say, you took all of the kind of stresses and the challenges out of hiring somebody, just took them completely away. It was such a breeze.
How do you think that hiring a VA has impacted your business?
In an extremely positive way. So when we were looking for a VA, there was a number of tasks that we knew that we were doing ourselves that we probably shouldn't be doing. We weren't that good at doing, and we weren't doing particularly well. So what we did was kind of between the two of us, we listed out all of the things that we knew that we shouldn't be doing. And then we spoke to Freedom Geek and said, look, this is the person that we need. These are the skills that we need them to have. And these are all the things that we've got that they can do within our business. And the impact of having someone take those off of our plate has been, it's been huge. I mean, it's given us back so much time. It's meant that our business is more efficient. It's meant that the people that are contacting us, whether that's a client, whether that's a supplier, they get what they need quickly. Whereas before, Paul and I, we might be really busy, tied up on something, and we might not respond for a few days. Whereas now they get a quicker response, so they're happier. So we're happier, clients are happier, suppliers are happier. A huge impact.
Do you have any estimated of hours or time that you are saving when you hire the VA?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. So it's interesting. So our VA does lots of different things from us, and that can be anything from organising meetings. It can be carrying out research for us when we're looking at a new sector that we want to approach, or potentially a new client that we want to talk to. But actually, a lot of what our VA works on for us is marketing materials around the podcast that we have. So we launched a podcast a couple of years ago, which has been relatively successful in the sector that it's in. But what you don't realize when you start a podcast is just how much there is extra to do other than just recording the podcast. And Wenelin, our VA, she now handles all of that for me. So she liaises with the guests that come on to get their bios and their headshots. She then creates graphics for us. She helps me set up the social media content for it and helps us promote the podcast. I think I could probably say that all of that, and that's just one task that she does for us. That's probably about 30 hours worth of work every single month that she's been able to take off of my plate, which is fabulous.
When you were starting to work with your VA, did you have any pleasant surprises that you didn't expect?
Many. So what we hadn't expected is just how quickly our VA would work. So she has an incredibly positive work ethic. She is very keen to learn, very keen to do things really well, and she works very, very quickly. So one of the pleasant surprises was I would schedule in a kind of a week's worth of work, and it would have been completed in 2 days. So that was a huge surprise, and it kind of caught us out a little bit to start with, because we kind of were like, we have to keep her really busy now. But that's brilliant. You know, it's had a really positive effect on the business, because it means things get done quicker, which makes again, a really big impact.
Do you have any tips of how to build a better relationship with your VA?
So I think my top tips would be asking them how they are. I think what's really important is to have a consistent communication channel with your VA. I mean, look, when we're all office-based, it's very easy to kind of grab someone and talk to them about something then and there, or shout something across the office. And when we're working virtually, you have to make sure that you're checking in regularly. So you set up regular calls with your VA to make sure they have everything they need, make sure they're happy, make sure they're confident in the tasks that you're giving them. And then I think my other top tip would be, actually, when you're delegating tasks, is to create videos. So there's always a reference point that people can go back to. You might not be around. So I might delegate a task to Wenlin. She might not see me for a few days, and then she might have difficulties with that task, or she might have needed more explanation. If I work very quickly, I might not have told her everything that she needed to know. So if I video it, then she's always got something as a reference point. And that's brilliant, actually, if you're thinking about hiring more VAs as well, because then you're building up a bank of kind of training materials for them. And I think also what's really important with your VA is to make sure that she gets to speak to everybody in your team. So we very much see our VA as a resource for our organisation. It's not just for her to help support myself and my business partner. So making sure that she gets to speak to all of the team members, they have one-to-ones regularly, and we all have daily catch-ups as well, so that she feels part of the team, even though she's based in a completely different country.
Do you consider your VA an essential part of your business now?
Absolutely. We rely on Wenelin hugely for day-to-day tasks. And as I said, the podcast, which is kind of a monthly thing that we push out. But what we're seeing is every week, every month, we see new opportunities of where she can help us in the organisation, and also help herself. So we're training her at the moment to look at different aspects of our organisation, which is great for her as well. So it's building her expertise, but then kind of allowing her to input into different parts of our business. So yeah, absolutely.
Kelly, thank you so much for all your insights. Thank you so much for everything that you have shared. I'm sure that a lot of people will find this super useful. So thank you so much. Do you mind to share your social media just in case anybody wants to reach out to you to maybe ask more questions about?
Of course, and please do. I'd be happy to help. You can find us on our website, which is rubbercheese.com, or on our social media channels, which are all Rubber Cheese, and that's on Twitter, and that's on Instagram, and that's on Facebook as well. And if anybody would like to contact me directly, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and that's Kelly Molson, and also on my Twitter account, which is the Chief Cheese.
Thank you so much again, Kelly. I know that entrepreneurs always have lots of things to do. So thank you so much for giving us the time. And I'm sure that a lot of people will find this information super useful. So it was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.